Hello guys and welcome back to Hey Manager with me Alex, and today we're going to get into our Wonderkids series. We're going to look at goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards, and then I'll do my top 10 Wonderkids for this year's FM24. This is all going to be from my point of view, my perspective, playing the game so much. I'm about 5 years deep into my brush dormant save now. I want to get a collective of players that are both budget and very, very good, so you're going to be able to assign them in your own saves, whether or not you're starting at like the Premier League or you're going to start at the League 2. You can bring in these types of players and they're going to be very good for your side. Now, they might not bolster the side straight away, but in the future, as we know, Wonderkids turn into something very, very special. Now, I appreciate I have not been active on YouTube for about 2 weeks. I've actually got a really bad cough and probably a chest infection at this point. But I want to try and get straight back into the swing of things. I'm feeling much better now. Work's cool with me. I've had a nice Christmas with my family. And now let's get back into this one. So I'd appreciate if you could subscribe and like this video if you do enjoy, just to try and get back up to where we belong with these. Maybe try and get 200 subscribers by the new year. That'd be absolutely fantastic. We smashed our goal last time of 175. Let's get into that one. So the first player we're going to be looking at today is Dennis Seamen. Now, he has been a standout player in my brush dormant save. Nonetheless, he has been a backup. As you can see here, 17 years of age. Looks very, very good when you start FM. Now, the good thing about him, I've started this from the classic FM mode, so he doesn't join any new club. He's at Stuttgart. He's in the second team. He is available for around about 8.5 to 12.5 million. He would be an excellent signing for the future. You can see the reports here at Manchester United, so you can see a standard Sky Bet League 1 player, but could improve a lot. So he stands at 6'5", I believe, 6'4" he is, 83 kilograms. Aerial reach, fantastic. Everything's really, really good about him. And what's good about him, he starts off as this mould, a player that you could mould into anything. He's got 14 reflexes, 13 one-on-one, so he's going to be a good goalkeeper nonetheless. 11s and 12s all round, and maybe a few 10s, concentration and decisions. He can mould into something amazing. Now, he's not going to be fantastic. He's not going to, set the world alight, and you'll probably be struggling for around about 8.5 to 12.5 million in your League 1 saves. 6.5k per week. Again, quite a lot of money, but for Dennis Seamen, you can bring him in on loan. He can turn into something fantastic. And I'll quickly whack up a screenshot. You can see in our 2028 brush dormant save, he is absolutely fantastic. 16 rushing out, 16 one-on-ones, 16 aerial reach. The composure and the mentals could be a little bit better, but the vision and the kicking, he becomes a very, very good sweeper keeper. The pace isn't all there. With a jumping reach at 18, the agility at 14, he looks very, very good as like a backup. You throw in your reflexes, your vision all being 15, that's fantastic. 16 aerial reach, he's a good backup for me, and he's been playing pretty well for me in my Borussia Dortmund save. He comes in, replaces Cobble, does a shift. You don't expect him to be absolutely unbelievable, but he is very, very good. So Dennis Seamen is our first one. He's available for around about 8.5 to 12.5 million, and in the future you can see 10.5 to 14.5 million he turns into. So moving on to our next player, it will be Guillaume Restes. Now, Restes, an 18-year-old who plays for Toulouse FC. Now, this is probably the wealthy lot of you who are going to be playing with your Evertons, who are very, very rich, your Manchester Uniteds, your big, big teams are going to be wanting to try and get this man. So reports-wise, he's a good Sky Bet Championship player at the moment. Potentially Premier League standard, again, the same potential as Dennis Seamen, but Guillaume Restes, he looks to be a little bit more of your cat build, a bit more, your reflexes, your 15, your one-on-ones could be a little bit higher, but being at 13, but again, sweeper keeper wise, 15 pace, 15 acceleration, the physicals are out of this world, and his personality fairly determined. A 16 determination rating already is brilliant. So you could bring him in, you're probably looking at your mid-table championship sides for this man, but 27 to 34 million, plus he's a first choice goalkeeper for Toulouse. I've seen him go to Bayern Munich on my save for Dortmund, I think for about 10.75 million a few years in, maybe a year in, something like that when he wants to leave. But I'll just flash onto the screen right now what he looks like in about 5 years' time. He doesn't look too much more progressed, I've got to admit. 23 years of age, we're probably expecting him to blow everyone out of the water. He's on 155k per week. There's got to be something special about him. He's put on the pounds, he's put on 2 kilograms, but he has got quicker nonetheless. But 14 positioning, 15 vision. He's good at kicking. The one-on-ones and reflexes are both 15. Your first touch, your handling, aerial reach could be a bit higher for my liking. A 6'2" goalkeeper, it just doesn't. You're going to be coming up against 6'4" defenders in the future. 6'2", is he going to be that dominant in the air? His eccentricity is low. He's a 3-star sweeper keeper for Bayern Munich. He would be a good signing for my Borussia Dortmund save. Well, Guillaume Restes is your more expensive player, should I say. First choice goalkeeper at Toulouse. If you bring him in at 18 years of age, you know he's going to develop very, very quickly for your sides. And yeah, he's number 2 on the list, but I think he's going to be, he's probably going to be the #1 in terms of actual Wonderkid goalkeepers this year. So he's one to sign for yourselves if you can afford him. That leads us on to number 3, which is Chris Brady. Now, this man, he's been at Chicago. He's come through the Fire Academy, the Chicago Fire Academy. He looks pretty decent. I mean, I can't lie. He looks all right. I won't scream the house down, but eccentricity being low, your communication being very, very high. I mean, his pace and acceleration is decent. His agility is decent. The mentals need a lot of working. I've got to admit, a lot of working. But this guy is your traditional goalkeeper. I don't want to just cover off sweeper keepers because I know people use different tactics on FM. Goalkeeper-wise, this guy is going to be your standard goalkeeper, your traditional goalkeeper of sorts. Dating back to the 2010s when it was thump it long, but be covering off your aerial ability and also be decent in your one-on-ones and your reflexes. He's pretty decent, 13s for decisions, positioning, anticipation. It's all very high. 15 reflexes, 12 handling. Your aerial reach and communication in the area is pretty good at 6'3", stands very high. Not really going to be molded into something fantastic. And for 11 to 17.5 million, it's a lot of money. You look at the reports here, handles himself well, he's a fairly consistent performer, could adapt well, organises his defence, he's pretty good at, commanding his team. From the MLS, 3.3k per week. You could probably bring him into quite a few League One sides. I mean, I don't think he actually... League 1, League 2 sort of potential ability, current ability should I say, potentially. Did we just see that? I just missed that one out. Could be Premier League standard in the future, 3 to 4 stars. He's not going to be your standout players, but if you look at him in the future, 5 years in the future, Chris Brady at 24 years of age, he turns into a solid goalkeeper, an absolute rock solid goalkeeper. Now, he won't be your sweeper. He's definitely not going to be able to, he might, if you want to play out from the back, let him kick it a little bit. I'll say that, let him kick it a little bit. Just throw it out. Throw it long to your playmakers, throw it long to your wingers, throw it long to your fullbacks. Don't try and do anything else with this man because he just can't. He doesn't have the capability to do so. He's at Bayer Leverkusen in the future, but look at that. Aerial reach, 15. Command of area, 16. Communication, 17. His eccentricity is shot up, though. That's the main one. Handling and one-on-ones could be a little bit better, 13 and 12. Reflex is 16. And then positioning, concentration, decisions, and anticipation. Bravery as well. 17s, 13s. Looks very, very good. And then physically, he's jumping, reaching it. Balance has gone higher, but agility could be a little bit higher. But he's a solid goalkeeper. 40 million they're asking for. He would be a practical signing for my Borussia Dortmund save. Chris Brady, do I think he's going to be that great for you? I think he's good for your championship sides straight away. If you want to bring him in, whack him on your bench, play him in your cup, get him going, maybe have like an older goalkeeper who can really, really get the most out of him, send him out on loan potentially, leave him at Chicago for a year, let him develop, and then bring him in, play him as a goalkeeper. He is fantastic. Chris Brady, yeah, probably not your best choice goalkeeper, but one of the choices for your top 5 at the moment. Next up, and it's going to be one that you can invest in fairly like early on, I think. Spike Brits, the Manchester City under-18s goalkeeper, a 16-year-old that I have managed to find. I don't know if anyone's really talking about this man, but Spike Brits turns into a pretty decent player, to be honest. I mean, your goalkeeping all being 10s near enough. Everything's a 10. The most average man on earth we're looking at here. He's rushing out tendency 16, termination through the roof. He's a model citizen, so that's going to be through the roof. His acceleration at 15, but everything else, 8s, 11, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11. He looks very, very average in the moment. And what you want to try and do with this man, as you can see here, 3.7 to 5.4 million. He's only on 220 quid a week. If you're in a foreign club outside of England, that's 220 quid a week plus whatever you have to pay for his compensation. Get him in on the youth contract. At Manchester United, I mean, they won't let us buy him, and he doesn't want to join anyway because Spike Brits is a Manchester City fan. 3.7 to 5.4 million. It's not too bad, and he could improve a lot. He only gets that 2 to 3 star rating at the moment, but what I will show you is what he looks like in 5 years time. So let's just quickly go back to his profile here. Let me just whack up on the screen what he looks like at 21. Now he's worth 16.5 to 24 million in the Manchester City team there. He's playing for the under-21s. He's on 30k a week, breakthrough prospects. He's gone up to that 2-star rating, but if you look at him there, he looks really good. He looks like he's moulded into a brilliant sweeper keeper. The aerial reach being 15, he's 6'3". I mean, his command of the area and communication are very average. His first touch is decent at 12. He'll take that. Same with the kicking, but the one-on-ones and the reflexes and the rushing out and the throw-in being 15, 15, 14 and 15 and and 16 as well. And then you look at his mentals, the vision's pretty good, the positioning's decent enough, anticipation, composure and decisions could all be higher, let's not argue. The concentration's through the roof at 17, so you know he's going to be pretty decent in like his reflexes and saving. And then physically, he's fantastic. Acceleration and pace, 13 and 14. He's got great natural fitness, a great agility, a great jumping reach. He looks fantastic, and so for your £5 million investment, say, at the very beginning of the game, 4 years later you're looking at maybe a £20 million player who could probably start in your Premier League side. Let's say your lower mid-table, so your relegation fighting team, can probably start this man at 21. If you're going to try and bring in a championship team, you know, you want to try and 5 years in, try and get from the bottom of the championship to the Premier League, you want to bring in Spike Brits for around about 4 million. He's a big investment, and trust me, a big investment. If you've got 5 million to spend, you're going to be very, very lucky in the Championship. 5 years on, you've got a goalkeeper that's going to last you an eternity, because, you know, 34, 35 years of age is what you're looking at for Spike Brits to probably retire. You get 15 years out of him, so that's fantastic. So that's Spike Brits. Leading on to the final player of the top 5, and the final player, and believe it or not, the cheapest one, 85 to 850k, is Tomaso Martinelli. Now Martinelli, this man I could have chose a few different goalkeepers, but I've chose this man because I wanted someone they could probably bring in even at League 2, League 1, League 2, and you could bring him in straight away. I mean, you can argue the case they're going to probably ask for a bit more than 800k, but 85 to 850k for a player that, by the reports, say he's a League 2 standard player, maybe pushing League 1. He could improve a lot. The main thing is he's got great agility, and the reflex is all very high, and he's got a good personality, but the sad thing is he's very one-footed, inconsistent, and he adapts poorly to games. So what you want to see is, from the 17-year-old, you want to bring him in and mould him into a goalkeeper. Yeah, that's what you want to do straight away. Mould him into the goalkeeper role, because he plays that very, very well. You can see there 12s and 11s, all pretty average day. 6'4", so he's a lot taller than your other goalkeepers, 2 inches taller than Restes, which is a lot in goalkeeping terms. Positioning wise could be a little bit better, but put him straight into your sides at maybe like your lower league standards, and he's very cheap as well. He's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and he develops into something that I think actually looks pretty good. If you look at Tomaso Martinelli, I'll bring you up a screenshot here now. If you play him as a goalkeeper, I mean, the kicking's really good, the reflex is really good, the one-on-ones are really good, he's brilliant at his aerial ability and the command in the box. The mentals could be a little bit better, but 13s you get away with. You could get away with a 13, a 12 and a 13. At 22, that's going to develop. And then physically, the 16 agility, the 16 jumping reach. I mean, you're not looking for him to run off his line because of acceleration and pace. You're not looking for him to make them big marches out of the box. But in terms of a solid goalkeeper, this guy, 46 conceded in 42 games for Fiorentina, and he's young as well. You're looking at a goal per game near enough. I mean, most top goalkeepers don't manage that. Tomaso Martinelli, I think, personally, you're going to be able to bring him in for around about 800k. I think he's fantastic. I think he's going to be brilliant for you. So that's my top 5 goalkeepers for this year. In my personal opinion, that's the top 5 you can sign. We've got your expensive ones, your Manchester United going to sign, your Restes, then you've got your Martinellis, who maybe like a Wrexham could even sign. You know, if you do a Wrexham save, you're going to be able to sign him like straight away and invest in a 17-year-old. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like as ever, subscribe if you are new. I'm on 195 sub-managers. I need to update that, but 195 sub-managers, so thank you very much. I'm back from my 2 weeks break. I apologise it has been so long, but this illness has really taken me out of the game. I didn't want to be coughing all over you whilst I do these videos. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you are new. The defenders are up next, and I'll catch you in the next one. From me, Alex, have a great day. Ciao.